regretfully, I'm sitting here in front of you right now after first and foremost embarrassing my family, my former players, my present players, and just everybody that's always believed in me to help me. The easiest thing to do in life is to sit and criticize others' faults. The hardest thing to do in life is to look in the mirror every day and try to fix your own faults. I reflect every day on who I am and everything that I do because I'm concerned with fixing my problems because I can't help others unless I fix my own problems. And I have challenges. I understand we live in a world where we expect everyone to be perfect, but I can sit here and tell you that I'm nowhere near. I preach to our players all the time that if you put all their faults together, you still don't come even close to the faults that I create every single day. Extremely disappointed in my ignorant actions that have impacted our team in a negative way. That for 30 years I've gotten on the bus and I've gotten off the bus, and I've stood up and fought with my guys. And it's going to be hard tomorrow to know that they're going in there and I'm not going to be there for them. The last thing I want to make sure I mention, because I don't want anyone. I understand the world we live in and the way things are spun. I fully support Ray Tanner's decision on this. He acted like the great leader that he is in trying to resolve something that was embarrassing to our university. And I fully support it. He didn't act based on one situation. He and I have been in constant dialogue for the last 5-6 months on things that he wants to help me, not for public reasons, but to help me become a better coach. And I couldn't be more thankful that he's my boss.
Open up for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you.
Coach, can you just talk about how difficult the past maybe 24 hours or so have been for you?
Real hard, and but it's self-inflicted pain. It's what took place with Dwayne the other night isn't the first time that happens. And I work at that every day. I go to bed at night and I try, I think, and this is my self-evaluation, this is not anyone else's evaluation, that my passion for people is my greatest asset. That passion also becomes a weakness at times. And I got to work at that every day. I have to work at that, and that's my challenge. And like I said, it's easy for me to sit down and criticize others' actions. If you ever have a private conversation or a public conversation with me, you'll realize that I rarely criticize anyone else because no one has more faults than me. And I understand how hard it is to work at your faults. I wasn't put on this planet to criticize others. I was put on this planet to be the best human being that I can be, to help others. And that's what I preach to my players. And I ask my players to, you've heard me talk about maturity a lot this year. I think it's time that I start maturing too.
Frank, when you were hired, you told us that you were going to work on your sideline behavior. And back in January, you had to apologize for confrontation with Brenton. And here we are again. Is this a problem that you can fix on your own, or are you going to have to seek counseling or get some type of help to overcome this?
Yeah, I gave up swearing my last year at Kansas State. And new job, different responsibilities, different expectations, different challenges kind of strayed me away from a commitment that I had made to myself in my previous place of employment. There's been some challenges this year, personally, in my personal life, and in basketball. And I've got a big problem is that I care too much. And I care about our players. I care about my past players. I care about my present players. If I was worried about image or my salary, that problem would be easy to fix. I worry about my players. I worry about them taking advantage every day of everything that's in front of them. So they learn how to prepare for life. I live for moments like the one I had Tuesday when Brenton Williams' dad, a young man that I did not recruit to come here, shook my hand, looked me dead in my eyes, and said, "Thank you for helping my son become a man." I live for that moment. I can manage this. I need help. I mean, my players, Ray Tanner, my family, my wife, who I've deeply embarrassed, my mom, who has not stopped crying since she found out about this yesterday. I need their help. Those are the people that believe in me. I need their help to give me strength so I can continue to grow as a person.
Did you and Ray have any discussions about what might happen if this happens again?
We didn't go there. We didn't go there.
Do you feel confident that it won't happen again?
There's only one person in this room you can blame if it does happen again.
Coach, over here in the back, how do you feel at times your language has affected your team when you have some of those episodes that you've had this season when you're overly aggressive and maybe step out of bounds? Do you think it's negatively impacted your team and perhaps even recruiting to a certain extent when people look in on this program?
I think that's a question better answered by the players. I don't think it's ever impacted us in a negative way. For 30 years, I've always had good players on my team. I think our team has taken on every challenge this year and grown up. It's gotten better. So I don't know. I don't think my language is negatively impacted. And let's make sure we clear something up here, because I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to cover up for my fault. I created this. Nobody created this for me. I don't speak like that 24 hours a day. There might be 12 seconds of the day that something comes out that shouldn't. And I've got to work on those 12 seconds. I feel pretty good about who I am the other 23 hours and whatever of the day. I work at a university. I represent higher education. I understand that. I have a duty to the people at this university that hired me to conduct myself a certain way. When I recruit, I go in homes and I speak to parents exactly through what I stand for and what I believe and who I am. I'm not a used car salesman. I don't act a certain way in front of people and act a different way when people are not looking. I don't sell dreams. I sell who we are, so then people can connect with us, and then together we can make a dream a reality. And that's what I've tried to do my whole career. And I invest all my energies in young men. to try and help them become men. I live, like I said, for Brent Williams' dad to say thank you for helping my son become a man. I can do that without being overly aggressive for 12 seconds on the sideline during the game. I've got to be able to manage that dynamic of my personality a little better.
Frank, have you specifically talked to Dwayne about Tuesday night, and the rest of your players about what happened Tuesday night? Have you made any pledges to them about going forward in the future?
I speak to our players about everything that takes place with me on a daily basis. I don't just speak to them just because that situation got in public eye. There's numerous situations and things I do, decisions I make, obviously words that I use, that I speak with them on a regular basis. I take a lot of pride in the fact, I don't know if this fact exists, but if you go back during my 7 years, our team, with me included, has probably received less technical fouls than any team out there. I don't let my players swear. When they swear in my presence, I'm not happy. And like I said, I asked them to mature. I need to mature too.
Frank, what would you say to the fans who could be impacted when it comes to attendance, but by the situation that occurred?
I mean, I can't do anything other than apologize. I mean, I'm sorry is a powerful 2 words. And if you use it over and over for the same reason, it loses all its steam. I can't do anything but apologize. And then everyone's got to be, I've got to be who I am. Everyone else has to be who they are. I can't force people to like me, but I've got to respect this university. I can't force people to come to a game if they choose not to come. But I have a responsibility to act the right way for this university. That's all I can consume myself with right now.
Coach, when did you become aware this had become an issue? Obviously, it didn't come up in the post-game press conference. When did you become aware this had become a thing that was becoming a controversy, and how did you handle it from there?
With me personally, it was an issue as soon as the game was over. As soon as the game was over, I was uncomfortable. I know what I do. I'm not one of these people that says, well, I don't remember what I do. I know what I do. I know what I say. I don't forget things. With me personally, as soon as the game ended, I was uncomfortable with that moment. I left recruiting on an early morning flight the next day. I called Coach Tanner from the recruiting trip because of my private conversations with him. I called him to apologize because I let him down in that moment of the game. That's when I became first aware that I guess there was some video or something, whatever it may be. I'm telling you, no one looks in the mirror more than me. I do that every day. I got faults, and I've got to fix them. But that's how that whole moment transpired. And then Coach and I spoke on the phone. Obviously, our conversation needed to be in person. So when I flew back yesterday morning, that's when he and I met in detail about a lot of things.
Frank, how do you explain your behavior to your children? And have you ever thought about what your reaction would be if someone treated your kids in the same manner?
My last year at K-State, I stopped swearing because I got home. And my little guy, who's in here somewhere, walked up to me and said, "You've been a bad boy." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you used a bad word." When a child says something to you, it's a lot more powerful than when some adult sends you an email. This morning, when my little guy found out that he and I were not going to Mississippi and that his dad could not coach and he couldn't see the boys play, like he calls them, that was a real, real difficult moment for me. To answer your last part, Rick, I've been doing this for 30 years, not 30 days. Parents of the players that play for me, I'm not going to tell you I'm perfect there, because anyone that does is lying. But I think if you polled, you'd find a very big majority have an unbelievable amount of respect for the kind of commitment that I've made to their children. I've got to work on those 12 seconds a day. I think I offer a lot of good to people the other time of the day. I've got to work on those 12 seconds.
Could you speak a little bit more in detail about like what that working on the 12 seconds a day means, whether that's, you know, bringing back that policy of not swearing or something like that?
Well, after we got back from the Auburn game that next day, we met with our team, and I told our players that I was giving up swearing for Lent. Lent was Wednesday. This situation took place Tuesday night. That meeting with our players took place the previous Thursday. I had for 2 weeks planned to use Lent as my challenge to try and improve there. It's got to change. I don't know what else I can tell you. It's got to change. I get out of bed every day, and that's important to me. Coaching at the University of South Carolina is important to me. Being able to continue to build my relationship with Ray Tanner, personally and professionally, is important to me. I carry a flag that maybe not too many people in this room understand. There's not too many other Hispanics in this business I'm in. I got to make sure that I carry that flag for my staff and others like me, that they can do this too. But I can't let them think that they can do this acting the way I unfortunately do at times. I have to do my part to carry that responsibility. That's a big burden to carry. I'm not like 90% of the people in this business. I speak differently, I act differently, I come from a different background than most in this business. I have a responsibility to others like me to achieve, to wake up every day and dream that if I can do it, so can they. I've got a responsibility to our players that if they choose to coach one day, I've got numerous, I couldn't give you the number because wouldn't give you the right number, numerous former players that are in coaching right now. They chose to pick this as a profession, whether it be AAU high school, junior college, Division I, Division II. I take tremendous pride in knowing that the impact that we made in their lives made them choose to follow this career path to be able to help others. I've got to make them understand that to find success in this business, you can do it being who you are, but respecting the core values of the university that you work for. And those 12 seconds are definitely not part of it.
Frank, tomorrow, do you put yourself in a room by yourself to watch the game? Do you spend the day with your family? I mean, it's such an odd situation for you. Do you know how you're going to handle it?
No. I know what I'm doing. My daughter has a cheerleading competition in Tennessee that I don't get to go to too many of those. So I'm getting in a car later on today with my family, and I'm driving to Tennessee. I haven't made the decision yet if I'm going to go in that gym and watch her perform. I've got to continue to reflect on my situation a little bit, because when we take the court on Monday for practice, I have a responsibility to those kids in this university to have our team prepared to go play and win, and not be dwelling on this moment that I've created. Regardless of whether I'm in that gym or in the hotel room, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I've got a lot of pride, and the one thing that I've always done is I've always stood up and fought with my guys. And win or lose, I always stand up and stick up for them. And not being able to do that and kind of leaving them on their own, it stings. And, seeing my 6-year-old cry this morning hurt. And when my guys are out there doing what they have to do and I'm not there, I don't speak about myself a lot, Pete. But I've been fortunate that in 30 years in this business, 16 at the high school level, I was a part of 8 state championships. At the collegiate level, I've been in postseason play every year, with the exception of my first 3 at Northeastern University and the 2 here, or at least 1, and who knows what happens coming down the stretch here. So that means I've been exposed to success. So I've got to be doing something right. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to not be there for my guys. This university trusted that I was the person to fix this program. And my duty is to fix it, not to create problems. And obviously I've created a problem, and there's only one person that can fix the problem, and that's me. Yep.